Okay. So, yes. Gaan hier zo en aan de andere kant van die gang. Dus wat vervoer op moet gaan of af. Dus dat dames die mans is dalk een voer op. Oor kan die gang en yes. Morning. Links. Right. Okay. So today we are absolutely empty. Where are all the students? Okay, so this is a little disappointing. I hope not everyone is watching on YouTube because I might decide to switch to a non-English language. Comme français. Ah, entendre. Étudiant, entendre. Entendre. Okay, cool. Right. So I'm speaking English this week. We're supposed to talk about arrays, but before we do, a few pieces of admin. Someone sent me an email over the weekend asking about the test, and I'm very sure that I've said it in class, but I'm also sure that you may have missed it, especially if you're chatting to your friend and you don't have time to concentrate exactly what I'm saying. The test on Friday will cover all the work we've done until now, and I've said that it will be especially based on the tutorials. If you can do the tutorials, you can definitely pass the test. Just let's look, please. Sorry. Okay. Thanks. Right, but I've been lagging behind the sample questions that I've put on the web. So this weekend, I have updated them. And there is now a list of all of what will be on the test, potentially. I know that this may be one of your first tests at university, so you may be a little nervous. I understand completely if you need more information. And even though I'm a little frustrated, I don't mind giving you the stuff. I mean, honestly, I want you to do well in the test. Yes. Basically, maybe. So here are the topics, and here are sample questions. Lots and lots of sample questions, which, there we go, didn't update properly. Here are sample questions like that. Write down the following decimal numbers as 8-bit binary numbers. Is that what you were asking? Actual code, okay, right? So let's go down a little bit. What is the output of the following code fragment? Since you volunteered, you may as well answer. Question 5. 44 and space and 55. Unfortunately, that is exactly wrong. Okay, it's the 55 first and then the space and 44. So there are tons, and when I say tons, I mean 21. 22, so just give me 1 sec. 22 sample questions on the web. Let's go there. And these are not the questions that are going to be in the test. I will ask something different, but I will ask something equivalent. You are allowed to calculate it. If you insist, yes. But there won't be any questions that needs calculation beyond grade 7. Have you done grade 7? In grade 7, yes. In maths, school. Oh. You can't long divide. Oh well. I don't know what to tell you. You can bring your calculator to basically calculate. Yes. Yes, of course. I do not mind. Scroll up. Tell me when to stop. Why do you take a photo? It's on the web. It's on the web. This is the web. I mean, this is the web. Don't you have the web on your phone? Okay, well, admittedly, this site may not be mobile ready yet, but we're working on it. It's a year-long project. I mean, a 4-year-long project. Okay. Oakley dokley. So here are, I say again, I put up a list of all the topics in the test, on the test. Here they are, all of these. And I put up a lot of sample questions. In essence, there are only really 3 kinds of questions. There are these questions that ask you to do something about binary and decimal, as if you can. It's too late now. But they basically ask you to convert binary to decimal, what have you. And then there are questions that ask you, here is a piece of code. What is the output? What is the output of the following code fragment? So it's asking you to read this code and understand it and tell you what the answer is. Tell what the answer is. Okay? And then question type 3 is complete the following code that computes blah, 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 blah. And because I do not want to mark whole programs you've written, these questions have a little template that you just have to fill in. Because I don't want to struggle with your misplaced braces and misformed ifs and all that. So I just want you to fill in the code. You don't have to make that sound while you're doing it. Okay? And it'll be easy peasy. For me, because I'll just be standing here, but you'll be struggling and crying, trying to open up your calculator, seeing if it works. But this is a closed book test. Because you ought to know how to do it. You have had a lot of tutorial practice, I hope. And you have the textbook with all the exercises. So if you can't do this, it's a big indication that you're a little behind. Okay, so there are all these questions on the web. Okay. Any other questions about the test? On paper, here, in class, 8 o'clock on Friday, and it's a closed book test. Oh, something I said. Raise the alarm. Let's go, ladies. What's your name? Michelle. Oh, absolutely. It's a must. We must. Because it's about arrays. And who wouldn't want to write the test about arrays? I mean, in the past I've omitted it, but there's so many requests from the students. They absolutely insist on writing being tested on arrays. So there are a couple of questions here that ask you things like this. What is the output of the following code fragment? And it deals with arrays. Michelle, does it answer your question? Okay, excellent. What's your name? David. Question?
Will there be a lesson?
Will there be a lesson?
Yeah.
No, the test will consume the whole period. In the TUT time, in the tutorial time. You won't have, David, you won't have a tutorial after that test. When you're done with the test on the 12th of March, you can leave. And Michelle, it will cover arrays, technical tests, and other stuff. Okay. Anything else you want to know? Ask me anything. The circumference of the Earth. 40,000 K. 40K. Yes, kilometers. Yes.
Why lemon trees and not orange trees?
Why lemon trees and not orange trees is something I ask myself every single day. Indeed. Now, let's go back a small stepping. Firstly, the study groups. It seems that attendance is picking up, which is a good thing. I'm glad. But some people are still unhappy about the fact that every study group, there's a different tutor or mentor helping you. So we've decided to add a 4th study group, which means we now have 4 tutors and 4 study groups. So the same tutor can come to the same study group every single time. If you're developing a bond with the tutor, or if you find him especially sexy, you can now go to that one study group all the time. Okay? So, There will be a study group this afternoon at 5 o'clock. If you want to come to that study group, you must please come and give me your name after class. Now, after class. When this class ends, David, it'll end a little earlier and you can go. Unless you want to come to the study group, in which you must come and tell me your name. Okay. Once again, we're going to limit it to 10 people. All 180 or however many you are. Then there's clearly an issue of my teaching. I'm not teaching you well enough. And we have to make a different kind of plan. Like, anesthetizing me, euthanizing me, and taking some other lecture. But if you feel that you need a little extra help, come to the study groups, but only come to one. The study groups are supposed to be identical. So every hour is supposed to be the same thing. And although it might be nice to be explained the same thing over and over 4 times, we don't want people to max out on computer science. That would be terrible. Remember what I said at the start, and that is you must pass maths. Please. If you pass anything, pass maths. Although I want you to pass computer science. But the study groups are supposed to be the same thing over and over. We want as many people as possible to have a go at it. So don't put your name down for one study group per week. If you really feel you need extra help, email Dirk and ask him that you and 2 of your friends want to have an extra lesson with a tutor, and he will arrange that. The tutors are being paid tons of money. They can do extra hours in the week. You must just set it up. And then you can pick a time that suits you and ask all the questions you want. But for the study group, the idea is that you come once a week. Once again, there will be a study group this afternoon. From now on, the demis will be fixed. The tutors will be fixed. If you want to come to today's study group, please come tell me your name after class. Right. Next little tiny piece of admin. Dirk told me that based on the study groups and the tutorial, that some people are still a little bit unsure about some aspects that I talked about last week. It wasn't in touch last week. And although it might be boring for people who know, who think they know it, I'm just going to quickly revise a few things. So, one of the things he said was that people are confused by the concept of input. So let's just go to the last stat. And the stat started by saying 2 notes. I know that you do not read properly. Nobody reads properly. You do not read properly, people at school do not read properly, professionals do not read properly, university professors do not read properly. We all have this problem of reading. But if you can, you must try to read carefully. Because this said 2 notes before you start this tutorial. And then there were 2 notes, one about input, and a second note about output, but printf we did in class. And then the tutorial proper started down here with question 1 and question 2. And apparently some people were confused by the fact that first question wasn't at the top. There were these notes. There was something there to help you. So these are the questions, that's fine. But the first note was about input. And Dirk said that he thinks that some people are still confused about input. So I quickly want to explain it using a brief, tiny, minute little example. So I'll just put that there. Oops, that's not what I want. I can close that up. And I'll just open up one of these. I want to go into Ubuntu, but time, blah, 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 time, and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my Macs. Oh, lots of stuff. Input. In fact, I can use numbers in my classes. I'll just call it input 1. So this will be public class input 1. Public static void main. Why didn't I do this before? Well, I think it's a good thing for you to see me typing stuff. Reinforces everything you've learned. Okay. So this is a little program that's going to take a user input in some way and display the queue of that input. So I'm going to start by saying x is integer dot parseInt art0. We've done this so many times. System dot out dot println x times x times x. Okay, that's my first little program. I'm going to make the screen a little smaller. It'll still fit. That's beautiful. And I'm going to make this screen a little smaller. Java C input 1 dot Java. It must compile. I wasn't trying to make a mistake. I'd compile input 1. Okay, now I'm going to run this little program. I run it. Ooh, it's a terrible array index out of bounds exception on line 4. But we know what that means. It means that the program expected the command line argument. I didn't provide one. So I should run it like this. So I can run this program and provide command line arguments. And this is one way of getting values from the user. But the other way is to say, let's edit input2.java. And it's essentially the same, so I'll just copy that. That changes to a 2. And now instead of just saying parseInt, not just saying parseInt, instead of saying parseInt, I'm going to write a little message. I don't have to, but it's more sensible. And I'm going to say x is standard in dot nextInt. So now my program no longer checks the command line arguments. It no longer expects arg0, something on the command line. It's going to work in a different way. It's going to print value, and it's going to read the value from the standard input. So what I type in this terminal, it's from standard input. Whatever I type there is going to be passed into x, and it's going to print x like that. And for this to work, I need that standard library in this directory. So I need to go get it, but where is it? You just close your eyes and ignore this part. Not a secret. It's just okay, right. So if I now want to compile, I say minus CP, that whole formula, colon dot input 2.java. What happens if I don't say that? What happens if I omit that? Oh, it says cannot find symbol points to standard in. So I do need standard in, and it is here. I just haven't told the compiler that it needs to look at it. I don't feel that was as successful as I'd hoped. Did I copy the wrong thing? Give me a second. This I should have tested. No, I didn't. Standard in. Is nextInt wrong? David, what do you think? Is it readInt? My mistake? My mistake. Oh, it does say that. It does say that. It says the symbol it can't find is nextInt. So it's not the standard in that's bothering it. In fact, if I look at what happens, if I don't put the arrow is actually in a different place. Now it's pointing to standard in. Now it's pointing to dot nextInt. Okay, fine. So see, I don't use this every single day, and we all make mistakes. I'm only human. Let's try again. I blame you! Okay, didn't save it. That's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. Excellent. And now I'm going to Java my input 2. Remember, for input 1, I had to give a command line argument, or otherwise the program crashed. it generated that exception. Now, I'm not going to give a command line argument. I'm going to run it. I shall edit the YouTube video a little later on to remove that little part. Okay? I'll just edit that out. And I was going to say, and now I'm going to run input 2, but I'm going to remember to add the standard lib again because it's using standard in. And it needs to know where standard in is. It needs that -CP option. As explained in the TUT notes, which I probably didn't read properly. Okay, now it's asking value. And I'm going to type 3, and it's going to print 27. So, in some sense, the user has two choices. They can either use my program that asks them the value from the standard input, or they can use my program that asks them the value from the command line. They have to supply the value on the command line. And in some sense, these two programs are equivalent. They do exactly the same thing. They both compute the cube of some value that the user has input. But there is a small advantage to the second program. And that is that if I give you a program and I don't explain to you how to use it, what are you supposed to put on the command line? You'll never know. I mean, I may have thought that I can type 3 here and it'll just work. And it doesn't work at all. So with a command line argument-based program, it's much more difficult for the user to know how to use the program. Whereas if the program is going to ask the user value, then the user can, in some sense, a little more easily deduce that they're supposed to type something. Which is why I put the value prompt there. If we remove the value prompt, if I don't prompt the user to input some value, this will happen. I've just written this program. I've emailed it to my mother. She happens to know exactly how to run these kinds of programs. She just types Java -CP standard lib colon. Okay? And she presses enter, and she waits for the program to start up, and she waits and she waits. Then she phones me and says the computer has broken. Okay? And I ask her, is it on? And she says, yes, it's on, but it's broken. Okay? Is there anything on the screen? What do you see on the screen? It's just standing there. Clearly, I have been a bad programmer. I've not helped the user to use my program at all. So they should, in some sense, look into it that they have to type some value and it will print a cube. That's not good. That's not nice. Okay, so that's the difference between input from the command line and input from standard in. Okay, and that's one little glitch that they're talking about. But there were other little uncertainties. For example, the difference between a for loop and a while loop. So let's quickly cover that. What am I kicking? My own bag. I'll just leave that. Let's just cover the difference between a for loop and a while loop quickly. Quickly. I'm going to write another program. It's a good day for writing programs. And I'm going to call this program loop1.java. And it's so much the same that I'm just going to copy this, even though I said I like to type it out so you guys can follow me. And let's start with a for loop. I'm going to write a for loop. I know that I have to follow Java syntax. There's an exact syntax that I must follow. I must write for, open parentheses, then 3 pieces. I forget what they are, but something, semicolon something, semicolon something, close parentheses, open brace, close brace. And in there I do something. To do something is the action I want repeated. So let's for today say that we want to print stuff. We'll just print I don't know, stuff. Exactly what I want to do. Okay. In here, my for loop has these three pieces that I know. The first piece is initialization. So that's really going to happen before the for loop even starts. That's something that Java will execute once at the beginning. And in this case, once at the beginning, I want to make a variable called I, and I'm going to start it out at 0. And I don't like that space there, so that's fine. Okay, so Java will once, before the for loop even starts, make an I variable, an int variable called that's equal to I equal 0. Next component of my for loop is termination. When is it going to stop? Well, not when it's going to stop. When is it going to keep on going? And I'm going to write while I is less than 5, you keep on going. So the second part says, what condition must I check to keep on going with this for loop? And this is the condition I less than 5. As long as I is less than 5, this for loop will go over and over and over. And the last component of the for loop is the increment, the step at the end. So here I'm going to write I becomes I plus 1, but it looks a little odd because the custom for loops, if you want to increment by 1, if you want to increment a variable, is to write it more succinctly as I++. I++ is an operator that sends back the value of I and then makes I one more. So the fact that it sends back the value of I, we can ignore. What we're really interested in is the fact that it makes I one more. Okay, so the for loop, it starts off with I equal to 0. What I is less than 5 is going to do whatever is inside, and it's going to increment I. Okay, let's just see if it does what we think it'll do, which is to repeat 5 times for I equals 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 times, and each time it prints stuff. So let's see, Java C, let's save this. Java C loop1.java. It compiles, excellent. Loop 1, stuff, 5 times. So this is a for loop. They're really useful if you quickly want to repeat things. Sometimes what you want to repeat, or the condition under which you stop, or the increment is more complex than just this. And in those cases, you usually write a while. A while loop is, in some senses, more powerful than a for loop. It's more general. A for loop is like a little summary of a while. But a while loop can do exactly the same thing a for loop can do. Everything a for loop can do, a while loop can do as well. So I can change this for loop to a while loop, and I can change it back. And to change it is easy. All I do is I just replace the for by a while. Okay? So I'm going to change my for loop here over to a while. The inside stays the inside. What I'm doing each time when I repeat the for loop, iterate over the for loop, stays the same. So I'm still going to print stuff every single time I repeat. Okie dokie. This is supposed to happen before the for loop starts. So I'm going to put it before my while loop. Because remember, a while loop doesn't have those 3 components. So I'm going to take that. I'm taking it, and I'm going to put it here. Just copy pasted that initialization to right before my while loop. For the while loop, it's the termination condition or the iteration condition that I put in the parentheses. So only the middle part of the for loop is really what goes inside the while loop. That's clear-ish. Okay, so I'm going to take this part, copy, and paste it in here, and delete the dot, dot, dot. Okay. So that condition goes in the while loop parentheses. And lastly, my iteration is something that happens every single time a for loop executes. Every iteration, it has the I++. So in some sense, it's not only this system out of print line that's being repeated every time the for loop iterates. It's also this I++. And with the while loop, you have to do that explicitly inside the while loop. So this I++, copy, paste it here. That must also go inside the while loop. So for the while loop, I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. For the for loop, I only have 3 lines. But the while loop is more powerful than the for loop. You can do things more easily than some things more easily than the for loop. In this case, it doesn't. It's no. If they put in 100 for n, and the for loop will execute 100 times. So I can't really predict beforehand how many times my for loop will execute. But often, for loops are used to execute a fixed number of times. And while loops are a little more general. They just keep on going until this condition becomes false. So, I think I've just tried to explain kind of third-tier intuition to you. And if you don't like what I said, just ignore it. I'm sure you already have. But, so you did the last tutorial, and I'm sure I asked you on Friday, but how did it go? Did you like the little tutorial? What was in the tutorial? Oh, we did talk about this. How can I repeat that? Anything? Were there other questions about the tutorial, or about whiles and fors, or about input that you want to ask? Please don't be afraid to ask. Remember, you are all extremely average. And if you are struggling with an issue, it is guaranteed there are other people who also wonder the same thing. So if you ask first, they'll all think you're smart, and you're not alone. Unless you ask something bizarre, like how many penguins fit in a phone booth? Yes, Danielle?
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
With the import statement, I know
Import.
we do it in terminal.
But I've told you to ignore import altogether. They don't have to listen. Yes. With import,
Can you do it inside your program?
you can't do it outside your program.
No, but we do it. We do it in terminal.
We are not importing anything. There are 2 versions of this library that we're using, standard in, and one version you have to put an import statement right at the top of your program file. But we're not using that version. We're using an easier version where all we have to do is put this funny thing on the command line. That funny thing we're putting on the command line is not an import. It's something else. So we're not doing imports, and we can forget about imports for at least a few more hours.
So we need to know that.
It's not going to be in the test. I'm not going to say compile your program on paper, because that would be stupid. What will be in the test is the kind of sample questions that I've shown. Only those 3 kinds, really. A few questions about binary and decimal conversion. Questions about what will the following program output, because that'll tell me, it'll show me that you can read program code and you can follow it along, execute it in your mind, and you know what it does. But that is not enough. Sometimes it's easy to guess what a program will output, or to kind of guess. So I'm also asking you to write code, write correct code, to make sure you understand how to use an if, how to use a while, how to use a for. Okay. I'm not even asking you, even though it's on the list, I'm not even asking you to write standard in commands or even printf commands. Actually, I may ask you to write 1 or 2 printfs. Easy peasy stuff. You've done it since day 1. Okay, right. So let's get back to arrays, because we have so much fun that we're going to have with arrays. It's incredible. We're going to do stuff that's amazing. To me, not to you. Okay. To you, it's going to be boring and simple, but to me, it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get back. Let's write a little array program. I'm not even going to go to the slides. All I'm going to do is program a little bit. You're going to look at it. You're going to think, oh, this is boring. I can do this so easily. You're going to go to the TUT. You're going to start crying. I don't believe this. I understood in class what's going on. It's always always easier if you watch someone else swim than to swim yourself. It's always easier when you watch someone else to, I don't know, somersaults through a ring of fire than to do your own somersaults through your own ring of fire. Okay? And it's always easier to watch someone program than to do it yourself. And you must do it yourself. You must get the exercise. Bati bat. Let's do stuff. RA1. Let's make this big. I want this big. I want this big. No, I don't. I want it small. Okay? Because otherwise you can't. I want you to see it on the screen all the time. Okay, look. But I do want it a little bigger. Oh. Apparently not. Maybe I'm sure I do. Okay. There we go. That's fine. There we go. Okay. RA1, just get rid of all of that. Okay. We're making an array and we are calling it A. And it's going to be an array of integers of a certain size. So now I have to pick a size. And I wasn't really prepared to pick a size like this. But let's pick a size. Let's say nothing. Let's not pick a size at all. Let's instead allow the user to tell us how big the array must be. So I'm going to ask the user for an array size, and then I'm going to ask the user for the array contents. First the size, and then the contents. So I'm going to ask the user how many numbers and I can put in anything. Let's call it K. Standard in dot read in. Okay. I'm asking the user how many numbers, and they put in the K they want, like 5 or 50, what have you. And then I'm going to make the array. A is equal to a new array of size K. So now I have an array of integers. As it happens, they're all 0 because that's what the default value for integers are. But I shouldn't rely on that. I don't really want to rely on the fact that it's all 0. Never mind that. But I have this array and it has K slots for integers. And I'm going to ask the user to input those integers one by one. So I'm going to ask them, I is going to start at 0, while I is less than K, because I want to repeat K times. I'm going to ask them print value I, which not, and I'm going to read a integer using standard in.readInt. I'm going to put it in the array in the ith slot. So the array I is going to be standard in.readInt. You know, sometimes when you study something like, let's say, Russian, and everything is going well, you learn how to say yes or no yet. You learn how to say thank you, which is any Russian speaker. Okay, spasiba. Okay, excellent. You know how to say house, home, and stuff like that. And then suddenly the teacher asks you, okay, and you don't know what's going on. So somewhere between Dom and Yanipanimal Parushki, you got lost. It just went haywire. And I've often tried to do this while I'm studying Russian, to pinpoint that exact point where I've just understood everything completely, and I've just become entirely lost. So I want you to do the same. If you are now experiencing total lostdom, you must please point it out and ask me stuff. It may be that at this exact point, you no longer follow me perfectly. The truth is I don't speak Russian. Those are the only 5 words I know in Russian. Okay? And, well, no more need to be said. But you must please make sure you understand completely what I'm doing. I'm asking the user for an array size. I'm reading it into K. I'm making the array of size K. And then one by one, asking for the value. One by one, I'm asking for the array value. I ask for value number I, and I read it from standard in, and I put it in AI. A is the name of my array, I is the number of the slot. Okay, right. Oh, damn, we have to hurry up because there's fun stuff and we haven't done any fun stuff. What I really wanted to do was to walk through the array and calculate the minimum and the maximum and the average value. And this will almost certainly be maybe kind of in the tutorial as well. So let's do that quickly. I'm going to say, I want to calculate the minimum. What's the initial value for the minimum? Do we know what the minimum is? No, not yet. But I'm going to guess that the first value in the array is the smallest. I'm going to say, I'm guessing that A0 will be the smallest value. Even if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself later on. And I'm also going to guess that the biggest value in the array is the first one. First one will be the biggest and the smallest. Unless all the values in the array are the same, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, this guess is wrong. Either the minimum or the maximum guess will be wrong, probably both, but I'm going to correct myself because now I'm going to walk through the array starting at starting at 0, going up to k. I'm going to have a look at element I. I'm going to say, let's think about AI. If AI is less than my minimum, I have my current minimum stored in min, but I may have made a mistake when I guessed that it's A0. If AI is less than my current minimum, I have to update my minimum because AI is smaller than the minimum, so the minimum must be at least, it must be AI. I look at the elements one by one, I'm asking, are you smaller than my minimum? Are you smaller than my minimum? Are you smaller than my minimum? And if I find someone who is, I say, you're the next minimum. And then I carry on using that new minimum. So if AI is less than my minimum, it becomes the new minimum. It becomes the new smallest. Orange is the new black. I have no idea what that means. Who has seen that show? Oh, you have? Is it available? Oh, I don't watch television, so I'm sorry. I just don't have time. I'm doing exactly the same with my maximum. I'm looking at the elements one by one, asking, are you more than my known maximum? Are you more than the maximum? Are you more than the maximum? If I find someone who is more than the maximum, they must be the new maximum. So I put them inside max, and I carry on until I get to the end of the array. And I only have 2 minutes because I want to stop a little early. I'm going to say out.println and the minimum, that's what I want to print, and max is the maximum. Oakley dokley. What is called loop 1? Well, no, it's called array 1, but I think I've stored it in loop 1. Just hang on. Here we go. Compile array 1. Execute array 1. Oh no, my mistake. Sorry. Okay. How many numbers? Let's say 5. Value 0. Computers count from 0. Humans count from 1. Stop that. Value. My mistake. My mistake. Here we go. Compile array 1. Yeah. Run array 1. 5 numbers. Which number shall we use? Let's just use the digit of pi. So I sent a rhyme selling in sacred trees and. Okay, there we go. So I typed in a few digits, numbers, 31, 41, 59, 26, 53. And what it'll do be, and through that array, the first case that 31 is the smallest, but it compared each element to 31, and when it got to 26, it said, oh, 26 is smaller, I'm going to remember 26, and it calculates the minimum and the maximum. Listen, we carry on again on Wednesday. If you want to come to today's study group, please give me your name.